Okay, chemistry. This is again for on-level chemistry and for pre-AP chemistry. I'm finishing up factor label method in your notes. I'm going to do all 3 examples, and that'll be the end of factor label method. After this, you should be able to work at the example problems in your practice packet. And you can also look online, or you can ask me for additional resources to make sure you're understanding. So if you're following along in your notes, you should see that the very first example problem looks like this. It tells you G, and it says it's 60 kilometers per hour, and then they want to know how many centimeters per second that is. So this is a speed. You're traveling at a speed, and you want to know the different distances. So I don't know if you've ever been driving down the highway at 60 miles per hour, and you want to know how many feet you're going in that hour, or how many feet you're traveling every second, because you are moving in those seconds. But this is different unit conversions, which are super important. So one of the things that's important to understand is whenever you see something and there's another unit on bottom, that unit on bottom is still just going to be a 1. If I'm talking about traveling 60 miles per hour, that means in 1 hour, I'm going to go 60 miles. So we're going to do the same thing that we were doing in the other examples. It's just more steps. Same work, more steps. So I have kilometers and hours, and I'm going to centimeters and seconds. So there's 2 different conversions I'm doing. I'm going to convert kilometers to centimeters and hours to seconds. If you don't know how to do those in 1 step, you can do them in 2 steps. So, for instance, a kilometer, I know 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. And then I know 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So I could do it in 2 different steps. If I know that 1 kilometer is equal to 100,000 centimeters, I could do it in 1 step. I'm going to do it in 2 since most of y'all probably think in 2 steps. But you could do it in 1. And then also hours to seconds, probably in our mind 2 steps. So 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. And then 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So 2 different steps here. So this is going to be a longer problem. Same method, same math. So every time we always start with our given. And so in this case, our given is 60. And we're going to do kilometers over 1 hour. It's the same number. I still have 60. I still have my units in the exact same spots. Very important to understand that this is per 1 hour. So I can pick either unit to do first. I think it makes sense to start with the top unit and go to the bottom unit. So first we're going to focus on kilometers only. My goal is to get kilometers to become centimeters. So I need a fraction. I could either do 1 kilometer on top and 1,000 meters on bottom, or 1,000 meters on top and 1 kilometer on bottom. I want kilometers to be on bottom to cancel. So when I do this, I'm multiplying, and kilometers are going on bottom, which means that meters are going to go on top. So I can cancel out my kilometers. I'm not to centimeters yet. I want to get to centimeters. Remember, we said we were going to do this in 2 steps. So I have converted successfully from kilometers to meters. Now I need to convert from meters to centimeters. So I'm going to do a second step. I'm just going to keep combining them. And I'm going to have to erase because I'm running out of room. I said that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So this time I want meters on bottom to cancel. Meters need to go on bottom to cancel, and centimeters need to go on top. So for every 1, I have 100. So now meters cancel, and I've successfully converted to centimeters. Go ahead and pull that up so y'all can see it a little bit better. So my last steps, 2 of them, is to go from hours to seconds. So I have 2 ratios of 1 to 60. Or you could, if you know 60 times 60 is 3,600, then you could do 1 hour is equal to 3,600 seconds. Don't need to do that. Really easy to just break it up into 1 hour equals 60 minutes and 1 minute equals 60 seconds. So now that I have the correct centimeters and I want centimeters on top, now I'm going to focus on my hours. We have to go all the way back here. Hours are on bottom. To get hours to cancel, I need hours on top. So when I'm multiplying by this fraction, I want hours up top, and I want minutes, because I'm going to go to minutes. That's how my brain works. I think it's a little easier. I want minutes on bottom. So remember, for every 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. Okay, so then hours cancel. And then now I need to go from minutes to seconds. So if you look, all my units are canceling out. I should have a second color. I didn't bring second colors to help. I'll try to find some. Hopefully the stores aren't all sold out, so that way we can see it better. Color coordinating would make this way easier. But my last one, so I have minutes on bottom. I want minutes to cancel, so that means minutes need to go on top. Minutes go on top, seconds go on bottom. For every 1 minute, that is 60 seconds. So minutes cancel. And this is all my work. Now to simplify it, we're taking 60 times 1,000 times 100 times 1 times 1. That's all of our top numbers. So I'm going to write that down here. So this is equal to 60 times 1,000 times 100 times 1 times 1. All over 1 times 1 times 1 times 60 times 60. So when you're doing your math, this is what this in work is meaning mathematically in your calculator. So then the 60s, you could think about it as canceling out. You can just do your top numbers and do your bottom numbers and then divide. But this is the work. And I will put the answer, I guess, on the next video because I'm already at 6 minutes. So I'll do the next example on the next video.